Right now, somewhere in a private bank in Geneva, Singapore, or the Cayman Islands, there's an account that doesn't look anything like yours. No debit card, no mobile notifications, no low balance warning, just quiet, structured movement of money, the kind the average person never sees. You've been told to save in your checking account, to build an emergency fund, to be responsible. But have you ever wondered why your savings account pays you 0.4% interest, while the bank turns around and lends your money out at 7%? Where does the rest of that money go? Stay with me, because this is where it gets dark. The account I'm about to describe isn't illegal. It isn't a scam. It's been sitting in plain sight this entire time, hidden behind paperwork, jargon, and a banking industry that profits every single day you don't know it exists. Think about that for a second, and by the end of this video, you'll never look at your bank account the same way again. Here's something they never taught you in school. There are two banking systems operating in this country right now. One of them is built for you. The other one is built for money that already has money. The one built for you is called retail banking, checking accounts, savings accounts, debit cards. It's designed to be simple, insured, and, here's the part that stings, almost completely unproductive. The FDIC insures your account up to $250,000, which sounds safe, but safe and growing are not the same thing. Your money sits there, technically protected, while inflation quietly eats into it every single year. The other system doesn't have a name you'd recognize from a commercial. It's called private banking, and it doesn't advertise. You don't walk in off the street and open one of these accounts. You get invited. The entry point at most private banks in America starts somewhere between $1 million and $10 million in investable assets. Visual, golden, vault, door. Slowly opening, contrasted, against a plane. But here's what nobody tells you. The tools inside that system aren't reserved by law for the rich. They're reserved by access. Trusts, holding structures, tax-advantaged accounts, fee-only fiduciary advisors. None of these are illegal for you to use. Most people just never get shown the door. Think about that for a second. The information isn't classified. It's just never handed to the people who need it most. The working class, the salary earners, the people one paycheck away from starting over. So if the tools exist, why doesn't anyone use them? Stay with me, because that's exactly what we're about to break down next. Let's make this real. Picture two people, same age, same income bracket on paper. Person A keeps $20,000 in a standard savings account. At a 0.4% interest rate, that money earns roughly $80 a year. $80. After inflation, that money is actually losing value every single year it sits there. Person B has the same $20,000, but it's sitting inside a structure most people have never even $20 heard of, a revocable living trust, paired with a high-yield brokerage account earning a blended 5 to 7%. Same money, same starting point. But person B's money is working a second job while they sleep. But here's what nobody tells you. The difference isn't the amount of money. It's the structure the money sits inside. Visual. Boy holding. 2 transparent. Boxes. 1. Shrinking. Now scale that up. Wealthy families don't just open one account. They build entities. LLCs. Irrevocable trusts. Holding companies. Each one acting like a separate wall. If one wall is challenged, in a lawsuit, a divorce, a bad year, the others stay standing. The average person has one wall. Wealthy families build 5. Private banks also do something your local branch never will. They negotiate lower loan rates, custom credit lines against assets instead of income, access to investments the public market doesn't even list. Meanwhile, the average person is qualifying for a credit card with a 24% APR and calling it good credit. Think about that for a second. One side borrows against assets. The other side borrows against desperation. Remember that account from the very beginning of this video. The one with no debit card, no notifications. It's not magic. It's structure. Pure, deliberate structure that most people are never taught even exists. Meet Jake, a 28-year-old working a $60,000 job in Chicago. Jake isn't reckless with money. He's actually proud of himself. He's got $8,000 sitting in a savings account at his local bank, earning 0.05% interest. At that rate, in 10 years, Jake's $8,000 grows to about $8,040. $40. In a decade, now run the same $8,000 through a structure Jake didn't know existed. A high-yield account, index fund blend averaging a conservative 7% annually. In 10 years, that same $8,000 becomes roughly $15,700. Almost double. Same person, Same starting amount. Same 10 years. The only thing that changed was where the money lived. But here's what nobody tells you. This isn't a get-rich-quick trick. It's math. It's the same math private banks have used for over a century to compound wealth for families who already understood the system. Stay with me, because this is where it gets dark. The banking industry doesn't profit when you grow your money. It profits when your money sits still, in a low-interest account, doing nothing, while it lends that exact same money out at multiples of what it pays you. Jake isn't broke. Jake isn't lazy. Jake is simply standing in the wrong line. And so is almost everyone watching this video right now. Picture the exact moment it clicks. Jake is sitting at his kitchen table at 11 p.m., scrolling through his banking app. Same balance. Same interest rate he's had for 6 years. And, for the first time, instead of just closing the app, he stops. He opens a calculator. He types in the math from this video, and he watches the number, the real number, the one he could have had, appear on the screen. Visual. Boy's expression shifts from blank to wide-eyed shock, eyes fully open for the first time. That's the moment. Not anger, not panic, something quieter and more permanent. The moment you realize you weren't failing at money. You were never shown the actual rules of the game. Think about that for a second. How many years have you spent following advice that was never designed to make you wealthy? Just stable enough to keep working, keep spending, keep banking exactly where you are. Jake didn't get a windfall. Nobody handed him anything. He just stopped accepting, "That's just how banking works," as an answer. And the moment he did that, everything downstream of it started to shift. What he did next is the part most people skip. The part that actually closes the gap between knowing this information and using it. This is what they don't teach you. Write this down. Step 1. Move your idle savings out of a near-zero interest account and into a high-yield savings account or money market fund. This alone can take your return from under 0.5% to 4 or 5%, with the exact same FDIC protection you already have. Step 2. If you don't have a retirement account working for you yet, open one this month. A Roth IRA, or your employer's 401k match. 2. An employer match is free money you are currently leaving on the table every single paycheck. Step 3. Once you have any meaningful assets, a home, savings, a small business, talk to an estate attorney about a basic revocable living trust. This is the same protective wall wealthy families use, and for most people it costs far less than they assume. Step 4. Find a fee-only fiduciary financial advisor, not a commission-based salesperson at your bank. A fiduciary is legally required to act in your interest, not theirs. Step 5. Stop treating saving and growing as the same action. Saving protects money. Growing requires it to be positioned somewhere it can actually compound. Remember Jake, within 18 months of making these exact moves, his money wasn't just sitting anymore. It was working harder than he was at his job. Not overnight. Not magic. Just structure. Applied consistently. This is urgent, not because the opportunity disappears tomorrow, but because every month you wait is another month your money sits still, while theirs doesn't. Go back to the start of this video. That account with no debit card, no notifications, just quiet movement. Set. Tage. Man. Joyrunner out. It was never about secrecy. It was about structure. Structure that's been available to you this entire time. Sitting one phone call, one form, one decision away. You now know something you didn't know 12 minutes ago. The system wasn't built to keep you poor. It was built to keep you uninformed. And uninformed is a condition you can fix today. If this hit different, save this video. You're going to want to come back to this when you actually sit down to move your money. Because here's the last thing to think about. The wealthy aren't worried about you finding this information. They're worried about you using it.